Yo everybody, welcome back for another stream. Let me get this ready here, and we put in this one, and here as well. Why is it not showing yet? And you will start off with a 3-bet here. Blindy blind, perfect. There we go, we get a 4-bet, interesting first hand. Going to call, quite a large 4-bet to be honest, but still going to call this. We flop a pair without backdoor, it's not ideal, but definitely gonna call a small c-bet, which we do see. It goes 26%, not gonna do any raising, never gonna fold a pair and call, and yeah, that's an above average turn. He bets again. Now we have the option between calling or just jamming it in. I think bottom 2 pair, I don't mind jamming it in here. If he sizes up specifically, don't see too many hands with very little equity. Obviously if he has king jack or pocket jacks, we're always going to lose a stack here. But if we have a draw here, like a flush draw, we might want to get it in to get him off ace queen, ace 10. And if he folds like a flush draw, well, he shouldn't really fold much here, but we'll just put the rest of the money in. And he seems to be in a tough decision and actually folds. So we take down a first nice pot. 50 bigs there, can't complain. Can't complain. And yeah, it's been a while, but we're back with another stream. We're live on Twitch, we're live on YouTube, perfect. We only have one table unfortunately so far, but I'm on the waiting list for, I think, close to all the other tables that are out there, so hopefully sooner or later we get another table. And we're gonna 3-bet to pocket eights. Oh, it's 10 and now. Want that? Take that one down too. I also went on the list for the special tables that they're now running on Coin Poker, which I think is really cool, where you get to see what your opponent had after you folded. It's quite a fun thing. And yeah, maybe I'm gonna start a heads up table in case somebody wants to sit, but yeah, we get the pocket aces, so at least we get some, only one table, but we get some hands. And our opponent opens to 3x, we're obviously going to 3-bet very, very happily. Hoping we see another 4-bet from our friend. Neuro Doituro is now following. Thanks a lot, man. Diturio, thanks a lot for the follow, man. You joined just on time. We get the code 4-bet now. If you know your opponent is very aggressive, never folding, you could just jam this in. And he went fairly quickly, but in position. I don't mind just peeling this one here and giving him a chance to, you know, spew it off or keep his bluffs in at least. He goes for a c-bet, we obviously just calling. Peter joining, thanks for the good luck. Let's hope we don't get stacked by aces. He could obviously have ace 10 suited, which unfortunately we don't block here at all. That's a hand that we're gonna lose against. But if he has jacks or better on a board like this, the money should get in. He checks to me. Could consider checking back here, but I think I just wanna bet myself. Don't really, you know, believe he's going to bluff ace king, ace queen if I check back on the turn, and if he's an overpair, he's gonna get the money in. We're gonna snap him off. He has queens. Oh, king queen off, completely drawing that. Guys, that's why you don't 5-bet jam pre-flop. You at least want to give him a little chance to do something stupid. I mean, this is just zero equity there. I mean, even if he had kings, he had zero equity. So, not sure what he was doing with king queen there. Just didn't even block the suited 10x. He's just out there. I can see that the chat is not showing up on the stream overlay, so I'll have to check that in a second. But let's keep playing. We got pocket jacks on a low board. See if we can take it down, and yeah, we're up 250 big blinds after just a few hands. Decent start to the stream. Decent start to the stream. Gonna open the king 6 as well. Hotkey is also not working. Let me restart Georgian. 1 second. And let me then. We also get one more table, which is great. We flop a monotone board. Ace high. It's not great. It's not bad. We can do betting or checking. I think this time I will go for a small c-bet. Of like 20% min bet even works fine there. If my opponent eventually checks over to me. Yeah, just go 25 because Georgian is not working, but what is going on with Georgian? Let me just take it down. Nice. Yeah, now Georgian is back. Okay. Let's see if the hotkeys, yeah, folding is at least working. And on table 1, we got a show table, so that's this one over here, which is fun. So whenever somebody folds, we can see. Might be fun to rate this table a bit, have a look. This guy's 3-betting, seems to be a reg from the sizing, so I'm gonna mark him. And this guy also, I already have marked as a reg. So maybe you can see some interesting hands there. 4-bet. You can see if this guy's 4-bet bluffing or not. If we eventually get to see a showdown. He c-bets 25%. And did just have the ace king. Back on the table 2, we went for loose open. Going to double barrel on this ace here. And then triple barrel on everything that's not a spade, and even on a spade. I think we're going to triple this off, just a really, really good run out. Queen is not ideal. But yeah, I think I'm going to block this river. Hello, says Hart. How are you doing, man? And just mainly trying to get him off king x hands here. Wrapping hand like ace jack, ace 10, ace 9. Could go larger too, and so I could wrap kind of the bottom end of the range. Like the top end of the range, like 2 pairs that now turn to boats or straights. But I think this one works slightly better. We take down another pot, which is great. We also have a third table now, which is this one, where we defend the a7. This is not a special table, so here we don't get to see what our opponent had if they folded. Ah, yeah, now the chat is working perfect. A7 with a diamond, we're definitely going to defend against a small bet. This guy also seems to be a reg. And we also got a 4th table. But let's go back here. Gonna throw in a check raise here with some a6. I'm gonna check raise a lot on this board. We have the backdoor straight, we have the backdoor flush. Calls quickly, really good turn for me. I'm gonna barrel a lot here. A lot of my bluffs are gonna get there. which are going to be flush draws, but also 6-3. So really, really good turn for me. 6-7 is my natural bluffs. He calls fairly quickly, which isn't ideal. Makes it seem like he's more likely to, could be a draw, but could be a pair as well. I think I'm just going to give this one up. I also have ace high. I'm going to bluff my 7-6 hands there. And not my ace high hands. And yeah, he did just have pocket king, so the quick call is draw 2. And then let's go over to table 4. Give me just a second. I have to, yeah, there we are, where we are going to 3-bet the ace king against early position. Unknown guy. I don't think I ever played against this guy. There's also not a special table, so here we also don't get to see, or he doesn't get to see. And I think this guy will also wreck from the open raise sizing. And let's zoom out. Perfect. 4 tables. Let's see if we can get a nice stream going. If you guys have any questions, basically we're doing a challenge trying to get from 500 to 5k. Right now we are at 900 something. This is day 17. Last session was a small losing session, but other than that I think we've been running pretty hot. Had a nice upswing, so let's see if we can continue that today. And once we reach 1k, we're gonna start taking shots at 500. Table 1, I'm going to defend against MP Open. We see a, what's that, like 40% c-bet. We have pair, it's not great, but we're still gonna call 1. Don't have any backdoor or any extra equity. We have a backdoor straight, but if he barrels here, sure we beat bluffs, but it's quite hard to bluff here enough from these positions. His size is relatively small for this turn, but I again don't think raising is great here. I think it's going to be a lot of hands like ace jack here that bet, or ace six with a draw. You did actually find the pocket fives for the bluffs, so that's great on these tables. We can see very well played by my opponent. Maybe the size down on the turn is a tell there. So that's really cool. I forgot about that. But yeah, well played by him. I think nonetheless my hand is a fold. We have a lot of hands with a redraw that are gonna make for better calls there. And it seems like a recreational joint as well, which is nice. So gonna zoom in a little bit more often on this table, just so we can get some reads our opponents, see how they play, and you know, it's just fun for everybody to see the cards at showdowns, I think. This guy might potentially also be a fish. He min bets in position on the river with value, so that's also a good point. Min bet in position on the river, value 1. With a hand that definitely could go larger, right? We're gonna isolate the recreational here. Gonna make it 4 big blinds. Obviously a great spot in position against the recreational. And we flop a flush draw. Gonna start off with a small c-bet. Gonna zoom out just because we have a few hands. The pocket sixes here we called because the recreational was in the big blind, and we're gonna fold now to the check raise. Take down the 8-7, and then down on table 3 we just open raised. And here I think with the bottom pair I am going to check raise, sorry, check back. Could also bet. I think both our options are fine. I'm going to check back again, just realizing my equity. And now we have a bluff catching decision. If he bets, if he checks, we're not strong enough to go for value, so we just have a check back and we win against a7. Table 4 went for 4-bet. Our opponent just called. We don't have anything, it's a low board. This is close. I don't mind just starting off with a check fold here. Diamonds also the hand of hands that we want to have, like clubs and spades would be a lot better to bet. I think here just check folding is fine. If it goes check check, we could potentially start bluffing, but it's just not really board. I mean, we still favor, right, because we have all the overpairs, but it's not like there's many hands that are going to fold, so I think I'm just going to check fold myself. Yeah, that's it for now. With table 2 here, where we doubled up already once, and then on the other tables we are we just joined, or we're still at 100 bigs. King 10 on table 4, I think it's a bit too loose because we're 7-handed from under the gun. Table 1 seems like we're gonna get heads up against the recreational, but he folds. But with the pocket 3s, which we're definitely going to defend. And against the min open, even more so, get a perfect price. Okay board, not better for him, not better for me. But if he bets, we just have to fold without a club. 3-2 straight being out, even against a small bet. Like here, we're calling, but we have to hope that he checks, you know, down hand like queen 10, which makes for a very natural barrel and has loads of equity against our hand. So I think the best option is to just fold right away. Now we get the pocket 9s. And we see an open raise from MP. And a call from the cutoff. If the button calls, I think I'm just gonna call myself. Otherwise, I think I'm still going to squeeze this. And gonna make this 14. Hoping to, well, not see a 4-bet basically, and you know, against this very large sizing. Do a very easy fold, and he has kings. What a surprise! So it's always nice to see on these tables, right? Like all these things that you normally just thinking to yourself in your head, like, well, he goes so large. Is he really going to have? Is he really going to have 4-bet bluffs he ever? But then you sit there maybe with pocket 10s and you feel a bit tight for folding. Now you actually get to see that he just does have the goods. Table 4 is an interesting spot. We see bet and we get raised. This is blind be blind. Definitely going to call 1 with my top pair here. If this is a regular, I'm not so happy. If this is a recreational, he could be spewing a lot, and he did look a bit like a recreational. So I think I'm gonna be a bit more sticky than I would be against a regular if I see a barrel there. Depends a bit on the sizing. If he goes pot, I'm really not loving it. But yeah, against half pot looks a bit more like a recreational size that doesn't make too much sense apart from, you know, if he has king x of diamonds, then it makes sense, but not many other hands. Maybe ace jack, but I'm still going to call. There's plenty of draws out there that we're still ahead of. It's a very interesting river. Still going to check. If he has a jack and he was barreling merging in the turn, I'm losing anyway because presumably he has a better one. And then if he's bluffing, if he had diamond, we're also losing now. But if he has a random 10-9, 9-8 or something else, we're obviously still far ahead. And now he jams on the jack after going half pot on turn. Looks a lot like diamonds, to be fair. Oh, yeah. Any other sizing, I think we have a very easy call. I think even here we're still calling. I think even here we're still calling. This is not great, but there's a lot of 10-9, 9-8s here. Queen 9, Queen 10 potential bluffs here, so we'll flick in the call. But yeah, hand like this makes a lot of sense. Still not sure if this is a recreational or a regular, but I think here we're just gonna go broke on this river. Unfortunate run out, but happens. Not gonna let this deter us. Let me know what you would have done. Maybe against the overbet jam you just fold. Shonan, us Bankroll, good to see you first time in chat. Yeah, you should get the sheet where you can see the current bankroll. Oh. So yeah, if this is a fish, you know, they're gonna overbluff once they raise the flop and then just barrel off, facing a small c-bet. And I would have even called, you know, on a brick with just my jack. But I'm not 100% sure yet that he's a recreational. And if he's not a recreational, then obviously I want to be over folding. But yeah, this size again makes me think he's a recreational. And, you know, obviously recreations are going to have the nuts sometimes as well in that line. But very often they're just going to be bluffing, especially on this run out where they're not wrapping all that much. So yeah, still fine with my call down. It's just sometimes you run into it and that's it. Let's see if there's any more tables that I'm not on the waiting list on. Nope, here we're on the waiting list. Here we're gonna open raise the ace king on table 4. This is a bit annoying. Alright, we found another table and another one. Both not looking too great. Here we defended and we see a large donk. Just gonna fold against large donk. If you donk small, I'm calling against large. I'm folding. And then let me add table 5, which is this one. No. Which is, where is it? Why is it not showing up? Then we also have table 6, which is also not this one. Yeah, give me a second guys, they're not showing up in the OBS overlay. So we have table 5, which is, no, this is should be table 6. Nope. Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. Well, we'll go back to that in a second. We just flopped the middle set on table 3. Going to c-bet. We get a call, which is great. Queen, really good card for our range. Going to barrel for pot here. And then also a follow from Xemikas. Thanks very much. Good to have you on the stream. Thanks for the follow. Feel free to also check out our Discord. In case you haven't, it's completely free. Just type ! Discord in the chat. Hard says, bit hard to find enough bluffs on a flush completing river there, especially with that big sizing. Yeah, not great when a flush completes and he goes large. But there's still, you know, plenty of gut shots if you would want to bluff those, which obviously we don't know. This is 10 NL, we don't need it. This is 25 NL. Gonna add that table as well. Gonna sit out here. Wait, give me a second, guys. We have a few hands going on at the moment. So let's zoom out and play, and then I'll explain in a second what's going on. You win for 3-bet. Don't hate checking this back. The ace is not the perfect card here on table 1 after we check it back. And then he bets out on the ace, which is really confusing. Still gonna call 1 after we check back the flop, but not loving this. On the 8, just going to check back his king jack. Really weird line. Why would he lead out on the jack? But hey, we take it. Okay, need to get rid of one table. I have one too many tables at the moment. Give me 1 second, guys. This table is good. This table looks good. Here we have a recreational. Table 4 looks like it's the worst table, where I don't see a recreation at the moment, so I'm gonna sit out that one. Table 4, we are 3-betting pocket 9s. And we get a call and flop middle set, but it's a monotone flop. Going to start off with a small c-bet. Very, very small. And we do just take it down. And then table 5, which I still need to set up. We just c-bet and take it down anyway. Would have been this table perfect. Alright. And then we also have table 6, which is this one down here. Where we open the 10-9 off from the cutoff. Perfect. And we take it down, and table 4 is switched now out with this one. No, sorry. This one here. Now we just fold as well. Alright. Back to the overview. And then I open raise the king jack suited here. Just a few folds, then we get back to chat. Very few people I would call on that spot. Yeah, versus fish in general, if you don't have any information, this spot will be overbluffed. So you should be calling down any sizing when they raise and then just barrel off here. Unless you obviously know that there may be a tight fish or that they're not check raising enough, or sorry, not raising enough, but in general, fish, when they're the pre-flop caller in these wide formations, a lot of gut shots possible. They raise the flop, they barrel the turn, and bet the river. It's not the spot where you wanna shy away making some hero calls, because they will be bluffing a lot in those spots. Table 3, we open raise the 6-5 suited. I mean, I will check YouTube, not just in case anyone is watching on YouTube and writing something there, but yeah, I don't think so. 6-5 on 9-8-3. Gonna start with a large bet. And take it down. And then a few folds, pocket 7s we're gonna play on table 2 for sure. Interesting, we see an open, we see an ISO to 5 big blinds. in almost a snap eye, so I think I'm just gonna fold this. I think I'm just going to fold this. It's close. I think 9's definitely 3-bet. I mean, we have to stack off against cutoff a lot, and then if this guy jams and we 3-bet to 15 big blinds, you know, it's hard to get away. So ace jack, ace 8, 7s would have done fine, but we would have lost the flip. So yeah, interesting. He ices to 5 big blind and then just folds. Table 6, we open raise, gonna just check us out of position. With our flush draw there, we have a regular and then a recreational, it seems, on the button. Don't mind if he just checks around. If he bets with a medium flush draw, I'm just going to press call. Don't want to raise multi with a weak draw. And that's a very nice turn. Hope he continues blasting. And he does, and could consider raising here. But I think just calling is the standard line. Hoping for a clean run out, which this one is. And he checks back and mucks it. All right. Again, a spot where I would call down very light, expecting the fish to bluff a lot. Table 1, we called a 3-bet against a small blind. We see half pot on a low board. My hand is close, but with an over backdoor straight backdoor flush, I think we have to defend. Turn is very good for the small blind. I expect him to just bet range, and obviously he checks, which is very interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. I'm just gonna check back realized equity. When people bet in checking spots they shouldn't, and we have like an ace high, we have some showdown value. It's not like we have many hands that want to bet ourselves. And now he bets really small. This seems just like a pocket pair. Pocket deuces, I don't think he's bluffing for this sizing. So I think I'm just gonna fold this. Snap check on the turn, like queens, pocket kings, pocket jacks makes sense. Not a lot of sense with bluffs. So we do fold he has queens, which made a lot of sense. I think queens should just go bet the turn, jam the river. But okay. And now we have aces. Time for potential revenge. We're gonna ice with the recreational, which is always a great thing to start off with. Everybody else folds, recreational calls, save flop. He's gonna check fold a lot here, but you know, we're gonna start with a small bet. Yeah, even with the overbet sizing hard, they're gonna overbluff there. X on the bluff, I'm not sure. Yeah, as long as they don't go like 5x pot or yeah, I guess like, you know, up to like 2x pot, 3x pot, I would be calling. Table 2, we defend and we flop top pair against MP. We see a small c-bet, definitely going to call. Gonna raise more polarized here with like 2 pairs and better. You could mix in the king queen sometimes, very nice turn. If he bets now, I think I'm going to raise. Unfortunately, it does check back. We have the board locked up. Going to block bet, trying to get caught by jacks, 10s, maybe an 8, and maybe he thinks the queen is good for him to bluff raise, which it should be. It's a good run out for him. Gonna have loads of bluffs like the 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 5. And maybe he finds a bluff raise occasionally, but just folds. Just folds, which is a bit unfortunate. Sorry, did I show the right table? Table 2 is not the right table. 1 second, guys. That was my bad. It should be this one. That was table 2. My bad. Table 4 is down here, where it when check flop, I'm gonna check back the turn and then bluff the river. That's gonna be the plan for this hand. That's gonna be the plan for this hand. If he bets, we just have to fold. And yeah, he goes 5 times the pot. Right, man, pot is yours. The pot is yours. Potentially sitting out this table and replacing it with another one. And open raise to 10-8. Get 3-bet. Do good sizing, but it's too large for a 10-8. On these empty tables, you should go for this very large 3-bet, so that's respect to him. And on table 2, we are going to open raise and we take it down. Nine is suited hand. Shouldn't we just mostly raise our flush on the turn against most fish unless maniac? Yeah, raising is fine too for sure. But I think again they're going to bet too much on the river, and then I just want to let him bet the river and then raise there. And there's also quite a few bad runouts. So if you have 9-8 compared to if we have a better flush. If I had the nut flush, second nut flush, I think I would just fast play. Table 2 here, we have to be careful not to overfold against min raise. We're definitely going to defend. King deuce off. Blindy blind. If we know that the sizing is weaker, we could also raise. He goes for a small c-bet. We have a really easy call with our pair now. Now we have to be really careful because we're going to have a shit ton of deuce-x that he's never going to have because he min raises unless he opens the raises very wide. And with the king of clubs, I'm just going to slow play. Less worried about potential bad runouts. This runout isn't ideal because we lose to 10-9 now. But I think I'm still going to jam the river if he sizes down. I don't think 5-4 we lose to. Against sets we lose to. But like 7s and 6s, I'm not sure if those are over betting. Ace deuce we potentially lose to. But we can bluff raise a hand like 6-5, and obviously there's all the overpairs I could potentially call. So this is somewhat thin, but going to jam here. And if we don't get snap called, should be fine here. We just get a fold. Table 4, which is, 1 second guys. This one here we went for a 3-bet, we went for c-bet, we got snap called. Definitely something I'd pay attention to. If he snap calls, you could have 5-4, he could have 8-9, that bluffs us, but most of the time he's gonna have a set or an ace, and we're not getting those hands to fold. So just check folding, I think is the best option. What about donking the river as played? Again, they're gonna be betting too much, so the reason to slow play the turn is then also to just check the turn and let them bet again. And table 1 here we defend. Queen jack against a small sizing might get close, but against large we just have very easy fold. And we get confirmed that large sizings are usually stronger. Table 2 we see a 3-bet from the big blind, actually going to go for a 4-bet here, a bit deeper, so I'm gonna make this like around 28. And we take it down, which is great. We have to keep in mind this is a show table, so now they saw me 4-bet bluffing, so gotta be more careful doing it the next time. On table 4 we open raise, and this guy snap called, probably had to call any button activated. And I'm gonna start with a small c-bet against the recreational. We get a snap call again, which is not great. Means he's gonna have a pair a lot, a draw a lot, and we don't have any equity. I think his range is not going to fold enough. So I'm just going to check this back. It beats some draws here. So if he checks, I think I'm just gonna take my showdown value. It's a bit annoying if you lose against a king, jack, king, queen, but those hands may have continued check raising, and I don't think he folds a 10 or 7 in this line. Maybe pocket 4, pocket 3s, pocket deuces he might fold, but yeah, we just win a lot. Yeah, pretty sure the vacuum fish will check too often. On average, they will bet too much, right? And especially because he went small flop and then size up turn. Do you think using HUD is important on coin poker? I don't think it's too important. You can use it, you can also play without. I think both is fine. Yeah, but like if it's a hassle to set it up, don't. If you have hand to note, it comes automatically. So yeah, I'll just worry about those things a bit more. He checks to us, decent board with decent backdoors, going to step for half pot. Gets better flushes you fast play, and worse flushes good to play like you played. Yeah, pretty much. And I think my hand is on the edge. We get check raise, which is slightly annoying, but I think my hand is still a little too weak to continue. If I had like 10-9 or 9-7 here with call, but this hand I'm just going to fold. Now we see he open raises wider, so gonna keep this in mind and potentially 3-bet a bit more. Table 3, I'm going to flat call with the recreational and the big blind. Also he just min opened. And against a small bet we could potentially call. He goes 40-ish. Still going to call, but it's very, very close. Very, very close. We just have to fold against every barrel, which is a bit unfortunate. And table 2 we cold called as well with another recreation and a big blind. He donks half pot. We were multi-way in the flop, so I'm just going to fold this. And he has absolutely nothing, so that's great. The B50 donk with a multi-way. But with a hand like pocket 4s, it's very difficult to call and then realize our equity, because we can't really improve, and you know every turn is gonna be bad for us. So I don't mind the fold. Hart says, if they snap call a flop versus raise, you said he's gonna have a set to ace. I don't agree with set part. Snap call a flop versus raise, not versus raise, versus c-bet. And they're in position. Yeah, some sets might be less likely, but just a range that is not going to fold very much against a double barrel on a board where there's not many draws. Okay, let's zoom out because we have a few hands. Let's go table 5, check, check, flop, going to go for a large bet on the turn with our flush draw. And we get min raised. That's very annoying. You almost have the direct odds to call. So I think I'm just gonna call and donk here if we improve. I think we have the implied odds, and yeah, we almost have the right odds to call anyway. And then, yeah, now we just fold. Table, to give me a second, guys. Here we check, here we call, here we check. And then on the river on table 3, we're going to bluff. It's not a great run out. So just going to bluff small. Get called by ace-9. Yeah. If they snap check back, like again, I could almost give up, because if they snap check back, they very rarely have a bluff, but I guess a lot of king highs might also snap check back. So like bluffing small in this line can't be too bad. And then going large doesn't make sense because a lot of the snap checks are going to be trips. Table 1, we're open raising into the recreational. Okay, we get a 3-bet. It's a close hand, but I like playing through the connectors in position. So we'll call this one. Flop a little something. We flop a pair. We flop a pair, but we face a large bet, 66%. This is very close. I think in theory we're still supposed to call in practice. Small win against EP. Yeah, I would call one, but we have just very clean outs, right? If we hit the 6 to 7, we basically always win a stack. But yeah, the problem here, we just have to fold on so many runouts. We did have to bluff on the flop, the nice backdoor, so you know, if he doesn't improve on the turn, we might be able to call. But yeah, just call flop for turn, I guess. Oh, very well played to find the large c-bet bluff there by him. Table 6, we're going to 3-bet against the same player. And Thumb says, good luck, like how you take notes. Awesome, man. Thanks for that. I'm glad you enjoyed. Thanks for the good luck. And yeah, feel free to leave a follow so you get notified the next time we go live. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the chat. Hands that you played differently, always curious to hear what you guys think. In the meantime, we have 2 hands here, pocket 4s on a connected board. Down here, I'm just going to check behind. And the 6 deuce, we defended because it was a min raise and it's anti. And then we could check raise sometimes against the c-bet here. Which, yeah, I think we'll do this time. You know, check raise small, check raise large here, both gonna be fine. Let me see a 3-bet. In theory, this might be close. In practice, I just like folding when people 3-bet on flops. But this guy finds the large c-bet bluffs, finds the 3-bet bluffs. So well done to him. Gonna keep that in mind. And down here in table 3, just going to check it down with my pocket 4s. I will lose against the 6. Wonky the man, hello Rufy, how are you doing, man? How are you doing? So aggro can 3-bet bluff on the flop and large 3-bet bluff in 3-pot. Gonna upgrade this guy a little bit. Alright, we zoom back out. That's fun playing against a more aggressive guy. Heading into work, good luck on coin. Says Meeble, howdy, howdy, howdy. Awesome. Enjoy your work. Have a good work day, I guess. Let me switch out some tables here that don't seem too great anymore. So that's going to be table 4, which we'll switch out with this one. Blind be blind against the recreational or guy that's playing on his phone, but seems to have the right sizings. Just fold that one. And then there's no other 25 NL tables, which is unfortunate. There's one more that we can join the waiting list. We can zoom back out. No hands at the moment, but with a big all-in on table 2. And we see a call. It's yeah, straight against both. So just a cooler for the recreational though, which is unfortunate for us. But we still have a recreational to our left, so I'm gonna keep playing. And now they have these weird bomb pots on coin, where everybody puts in like, no, it's just the ante that doesn't go in the middle, right? Yeah, it's just the ante that doesn't go in the middle. Everything else stays the same. Just looks like it's a bomb pot, but it's just like some bug in the animation or something. Not sure what this is. So yeah, this is just going to be a normal hijack open and a normal cutoff open, and we just take it down. If any one of you knows why this happens and it doesn't go in the middle, let me know. In the meantime, we got the queens on table 1. And there's an extra dollar in here from the small blind who posted, so we're gonna make this 3.5 BB. And the small blind unfortunately folds, but the big blind defends. We get a pretty good flop for our range, but not for our hand. Gonna just check back my queens here. Going to just check back the queens. Could potentially even start bluffing, wouldn't be too crazy. I think just checking down, going to showdown is fine. I don't think people are attacking this board enough with random bluffs, and obviously now we have some back to equity going to the river. 3 unfortunately brick. He checks twice. If he bets now, can have still all the ace-x hands. I think they always, well, obviously always check flop, and a lot of them are going to check on the turn. Given that the flush completed, I expect flushes to lead out. Sometimes we block some flushes. He checks again. We just have a check back and lose to ace-4. I think this hand should have value bet at some point. But yeah, we lost the minimum there. And we get queens again. See if we can win some more in round 2. We get a call from the button. Recreational big blind would be nice pot to see a squeeze jam. But all we see is a call and another ace-king flop when we have queens, so don't think we're gonna win too much money here. Our position against 4 players gonna to check. And that's it. Checks around though, and Thump follows the stream. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Checks around. I mean, obviously we don't have any value, but we're happy trying to get this to showdown. 8x, you know, only really helps the big blind, and the button snap checks twice, so I don't think they have anything. Small blind checks for 3rd time. Hard to see them have a better hand, but like we need to get called by 10s on this board, which I think is unlikely, so we're just gonna check down and see our showdown value. And we'll actually lose to king jack. This guy didn't even think about value betting after he checks 3 times. I think he could have potentially followed value betting there, but hey, we didn't lose any money there. Would have probably actually called after he checked so quickly in both straights. So also gonna take snap. Check is capped. No interesting hands at the moment. Maybe the queen 9, but against EP, don't think we can do much with a recreational behind on the button though, so I don't think it's worth to flat call here. Going forward 3-bet, because why not? With the 6-7 suited here. It's a bit loose, but we can throw it in there sometimes. And at least it builds our image, because they're going to see that we 3-bet 6-7. So the next time we have something, we might get a little bit more action. I have 5 tables at the moment. Let me see if I can find one more. This one doesn't look too great, and it's the only other one that's running at the moment, right? Yeah, only other one we've seen. All in from on table 1 from the recreational, just jams 40 big blinds over the open. Let's hope under the gun doesn't wake up with it. King Jack, big blind wakes up with it, so it looks it's unfortunate. Obviously very wide loose jam, but yeah, just lucky for the big blind who wakes up with queens there. And I'm gonna add table 6, which is this one right here. We have table 5 as one of the outer tables, and then we have those 4 tables here. And I'm not sure what happened here, how this guy lost his stack with 5 deuce. But okay. We see another first time chatter, FJ, XJ, CNC, asking for the bankroll. How are you doing, man? How are you doing? I think we're sitting currently on like 900 something bucks. Once we hit 1k, we're gonna move up to 15L. I think this guy is a reg. Table 1, we're going to defend the pocket 8s against an early position open raise. Decent flop for my range. I don't play any donks, but you could definitely have some donks on a board like this. Goes check, check, and going to bet now for value. Just a really, really good really, really good board for me. And we get the pocket aces next hand. Let's see if we can get some action there. This guy's been quite aggressive, so I'd love to see some action from this guy. Gonna make it 10 big blinds. Give him as good a surprise as possible to call. But he just folds this time. And we've got king queen, another hand that we're going to 3-bet. And make it 7.5 here in position. And we take it down again, and on table 3 we decide to go for the flat call because we have 2 recreational players behind. Unfortunately, we don't really hit anything. On table 5, we're isolating the ace king against 2 limpers. And we get 1 caller with flop top pair, which is great. Going to start with a small bet. And we get a raise. Very, very large raise. With the nut flush draw, I think I'm just going to call. And on table 6 we get a 4-bet. I'm just gonna get this in here out of position with kings. Wish me luck. And he just folds, Very unfortunate. Table 5, we called a raise, he checked back the turn very quickly. I think I'm gonna go for the mega block bet here. With ace king with a spade. And we win a decent sized spot there. So again, another point in case when they raise large, they can have some bluffs. And with King Jack now, which actually doing something down here on table 6 where I 3-bet. Sorry, where I code forward. Normally this would be a code forward forward, but this guy seemed quite out of line. So I wanted to get involved, and obviously this is a very nice flop. But I would have also called off if he jammed pre-flop. Going to c-bet now, he does call. Get a very clean turn. And I keep betting small, like if he has like a queen, I don't want him to fold. And you know, sometimes he's gonna have a hand that that's gonna outdraw me, but very often I'd rather keep in the weak part of his range. So I'm gonna keep betting small here. He raises the turn. Now I think we just jam. If he has a flush draw or an open ender, he has the equity to call off. And at like 20 big blinds left behind into a pot that's going to be well over 100. If he raise folds here, sure, we lose a little bit, yeah. But just gonna get this in here on the turn. And very happy to have a guy like this one who is very involved. So forward bluff in position, check, min, raise, bluff on the turn. Table 1, going to see with my pocket fours. We get check raised, we just fold. Expect this to be somewhat strong, but guy definitely has some bluffs. And then zooming out because we have two hands here, so for ace 10 I'm going to c-bet and then check on the turn. And then the 5-6 Commodore I'm going to check raise against the large c-bet sizing. Just small. He 3-bets, he had 3 bluffs before, but still I'm just going to call this here, and the ace 10 on bottom left I'm also just going to call. Can donk on flush completing turns though. And this turn is one of the ugly ones where I potentially even have to check fold. If he fires large, yeah. This sucks a little bit, but I think we just have to fold. We're gonna get bluffed a decent amount, but we don't have the right amount of outs here. And he did just have the nuts, so good for us. And table 3, this is one of the spots where I think I'm going to fold. Like if he goes anything smaller, like 50 big blinds or smaller, I'm calling every day. But against this large of a sizing is where we have to fold, I think. He can bluff some random overcards for sure, but I don't think it's going to happen often enough for this sizing. I also don't have any reads that he's crazy, and like a 4x pot jam. Don't have to call a lot. So yeah, just going to fold. Table 4 we ISO to going for a c-bet here. With some nice backdoors potentially, but we just take it down. Snap check note maybe doesn't make much sense. Most players are capped when they snap check. Yeah, so if you take a note, you know that this player is capped, and then maybe you should also then take a note, or maybe it makes more sense for you to take a note when your opponent isn't capped when you snap check. Open shoves 960 100 BB. All right, got some interesting tables going. And this guy open jams again. Says everybody too scared to call. Well, with 6 high, I'm scared to call for sure. And he has 8-2, so often the other guy's pocket aces. Some justice, and he rivers a 2 pair. Wow, it's not really justice, but quite nice to see the recreational win. and now sitting there with a very, very big stack. Table 4, we face a check raise. We're going to call with queens, a very small check raise. And this guy bluffed the best hand. Wow. We see a half pot check raise. I'm going to call this again on the turn. Not loving this with queens, but against half pot, I think we have to call one more. And then we're going to fold the river. Sorry guys. Here we 3-bet against an open raise. I'll zoom out because we have a few tables going on. 6, 8, I'm going to check call, check on the turn. Table 4, here I'm going to fold when he check raises triple barrels. And then 8, 6 on table 2 is interesting against the recreation. I think I'm just going to call one more. And then hopefully see a check back on the river. If he bets again, we just have to fold. It's not a deal run out. And yeah, here there's some missed draws, but we're gonna have a lot of better hands to call down here. Just gonna fold, and he did have a bluff, which is unfortunate. Table 1 is really interesting because now this guy jams. I think we still have to fold 10 high, but because the cutoff is still behind. Otherwise we could almost consider calling off, and this time he does us with aces, so happy we folded this time. Happy we folded this time. I'm gonna keep eye on this open shoves. This one, 8 deuce off, and ace aces. And table 3 we rivered the nuts, going for a small c-bet here with the plan of 3-bet jamming. But we just take it down. And on table 2 we have pocket kings. Going to start with a c-bet with my pocket kings here. And we take it down. Table 5 I'm going to check raise. And we take it down. And going to switch out table number 5 with this one. After we open raise here. Just a second guys. Gonna c-bet on table 5. And we take it down. And then I'm gonna switch those out real quick. 1 second. We have this one here where we called a 3-bet. Our opponent checked, going to step small. Hoping to not see a check raise ideally. But yeah, and against the check jam we have an easy fold. On these stakes just don't really see any bluffs there. If he has a bluff, good to him. We just don't have the equity to call off. It sucks obviously because we have a pair and we have gut shot equity, etc, etc, but it's just always an overpair. This is just always an overpair, this line. And back to no hands. All right. What is this song? I'm gonna skip this. It's quite some action. We still have table 1 with the crazy recreational, just you know, open jams and goes for really large open raises, etc, etc. Then we have table 2 where we have ace king. We just take it down. And table 6 actually just realized we have the same recreational. No, this is a different recreational, never mind. Going for a small c-bet here with my ace-10. Could also check call. Actually, in hindsight, maybe I like check calling better. But always good to if we improve. And now I'm going to check and hope he doesn't put the stacks in. But again, the plan is just call him down. Here's a 5, a 3, any pocket pair from 6s to 10s. He's going to realize he has no showdown value. And it's very easy to just bluff them all. Half pot sizing I'm very happy about. So just gonna tank a little and then call. And 10 on the river doesn't change too much. Just gonna call down, but he just checks behind. Alright, so we win one there. Table 1, unfortunately the recreational left, which is very, very sad. We have another recreational here. But yeah, the big whale left, which is unfortunate. This guy also seems to be recreational. So tables are good on coin poker. Checking back or betting, both seem fine. Alright, thanks everybody for joining. If you have any questions about the challenge, about hands that I play, just let me know. We're basically doing a bankroll challenge, trying to get from 500 to 5k, somewhere around 900. Trying to reach 1k so we can play 15L. And the pocket 5s here, I'm just folding now. Ace king on table 3, open raising. Gonna start off with a check on this board. And we see a pot bet sizing, just folding. Table 5, we defended multi-way with the recreational in the small blind. Okay-ish flop. And against 2 bets. Not loving this, but we're still calling. If a pair in the redraw. Pretty nice turn. Not as nice now that we're multi-way. This under the gun shouldn't have many 9x hands. I'm still going to lead out small. We get one caller. This is a very unfortunate run out. Just going to check, hope to check it back against a 10, ace 10, king 10, an overpair. And now he goes for the bet. It's really hard to see any bluffs. If he were to bluff, you need to use a hand like ace 8, which you block. So I think this is a fairly easy fold here on the river. This guy finds polar 3-bet big blind. Table 5 for open raising again. We get 3-bet. We just have to fold. And we have another hand that we could potentially open raise if it folds to us. I'm gonna go for loose isolated here against EP. Just hoping the blinds aren't going to attack me. We managed to get in position against the recreational. And he plays really wide, so I'm going for a small c-bet. Has some turns where he can barrel. He leads out half pot. If it had anything, I would fight back. I think with absolutely nothing, just folding is going to be fine. Table 1, we're open raising the pocket 7s. Going to call against 3-bets. Yeah, happy, especially against a small 3-bet. No 7, but at least a flush draw. Expecting small 0 check, but against a recreational we could really see anything. And against a check, really hate getting check raised, but still going to bet small. It's just so beneficial to fold like a random ace jack. Yeah, and just checking it down on the flop is great, so happy about that. Table 2 we have king queen, could either call or 3-bet. Going to go for the 3-bet this time. We also see the 3x open, so we want to 3-bet a little bit more. See a call, we flop ace king. We can play various strategies here, big bet or check, small bet or check. Maybe even range bet. And gonna start off with a check here. See a check again. Turn is interesting. I don't think it's ace queen. He could have jack 10 sometimes, but I'm just gonna go for a large bet here on the turn. Could even go 2e if I wanted to, but I think on double flush draw board, just going 70 is fine. If he has an underpair, he's just going to fold. If an ace, he's going to call. This run out is probably the worst river in the deck. We still beat all the ace-x hands, and I don't think he's going to bluff those, so we have a fairly easy check fold at this point. Block betting, I think, is too thin. We lose to ace-10 now as well. Just checking, hoping he checks back. Ace-5 of spades, ace-4 of spades, those type of hands. And we see a 1/3 bet. What could he be potentially be bluffing here that snapjacks back on the flop, calls the turn relatively quickly? He would need to bluff an ace. Should be a sick play. I think we just have to be disciplined and fold here, unfortunately. Ace jack, yeah, makes sense. Shonan, did you say you were waiting for the bankroll to hit 1k to play 15? Exactly, that's gonna be the plan. That's going to be the plan. Yeah, I want to have 20 binds at least before I am going to play 15L, or the next stake basically. If we're a few dollars off, we might just take a shot anyway if we find a good table, but that's going to be the plan for now. So yeah, we did a lot of uncomfortable folding so far, which obviously isn't great. It's not going to improve our red line, it's not going to help our winnings, but I think that's just what you have to do in games like this one. Like these 1/3 bets, they're really tempting in position, but you know, first of all, the runner is really hard to bluff, and then why would you go larger if he's bluffing, etc., etc. So yeah, just gotta stay disciplined and fold. And it's a cool thing, but on special tables at least we see that he actually had it, which normally is a bit more of a guessing game, but not it's not gonna, you know, change our decision too much. We kind of know anyway when they go 1/3 in position, with a few exceptions obviously, that they're mainly just trying to get some thin value. Pocket 5s against the recreational who plays really, really wide. I was gonna ISO raise, now I'm just gonna overcall, try and hit a set. Or full house, guys, I take that as well. Hoping to see a c-bet from the small blind. We see a check. Bit afraid this guy might be too passive multi-way, so I'm going for a really, really small stab here. Fish just snap folds, so he might have also just snap check behind, which wouldn't be the end of the world. I'm hoping he picks up something, but then yeah, I think small blind is not really folding too much after he ISOs. And turn as well. It looks a lot like his ace king, ace queen that's going to fold, but not gonna get much value from that hand anyway. So just gonna fire one more because the turn is relatively good for me. If he does have an overpair, I want to make sure I get it paid, but I'm expecting him to fold here like 80% of the time. Yeah. Could go small again. Wouldn't be the worst play actually. That's a good flop, but if he just check calls, like he's just gonna not have anything very often. All right, on table 3, they get it in with Jack 3 against Queens, and Jack 3 actually wins. So big recreational there. He called an 4x open raise, and then called the 3-bet jam, and just hits 2 pair. We're obviously happy about that. PokerPlay is raiding with 6 people. Awesome, man. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks a lot for the raid, PokerPlay. We're playing 25NL on Coin Poker. We're doing a challenge, trying to build up, doing a bankroll challenge, basically. Hope you had a good stream, man. Hope you had a good stream. With ace 5 here, and I think, you know, okay, now we got a cold call, so we're just gonna call as well ourselves there. See if we get some raid run good. Unfortunately not. Looks like we just have to check fold. PokerPlay is following. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. But I'll throw in a 4-bet for you on table 4 with the ace jack. See if we can get some action. Oh, ideally, actually a fold, not some action. We get the 5-bet jam. All right, back to the ace 5. We're just gonna check without any equity multi-way here. Against double check back the jack, he could hit a jack occasionally, both of them actually. I think if the small blind checks, he's not gonna have anything, so I'm just going to bet out, making him fold his ace king, ace queen high hands. And I think multi-way should work somewhat well. Small blind checked all the way down to the river. Yeah, so we win this pot, which is great. Didn't expect that after I saw that flop. And table 2, we're gonna go for a small c-bet, blind to blind. And gonna... This guy was quite aggressive, so I'm gonna check it over to him. Good bet, good check here. Both are fine. He checks it back. The 9 is not great. He can definitely have a decent amount of 9x hands. Just gonna go bet large though, trying to get value from a weaker ace. We do get a call, and we do have the best hand, which is great. Table 6, we went for a light 3-bet, and we get cold called, which not the best, but we c-bet and just take it down. That's good. And table 1, we go for a c-bet with pocket trees, and I'm actually going to double barrel this turn. Just a really good turn for me, and I need to find some bluffs. They're mainly gonna come from my underpair region. I get all the better pocket pairs to fold, some jack X to fold, and then I'll run out like this one. If he doesn't have a 10, I think he's just gonna fold his range. Imagine guys leading for overbet on a board like this one after check calling twice. Yeah, obviously we have an easy fold. Oh, he actually does have the bluff. Well played, well played. But yeah, I'm gonna have a calling with pocket trees there. But respect to him for finding a bluff. But yeah, we just need to sit there with our 10x and aces and kings and pick up all the bluffs. So yeah, I don't mind if he goes for a somewhat unorthodox play. He will just defend because this is a recreational. And with ante we have to defend a little bit wider. And let's zoom out. So yeah, feel free everybody to drop a follow and join the stream. If you have any questions about any of the plays, you've done something different, just let me know. Always happy to discuss with the chat. Right now I'm doing the bankroll challenge, trying to get from 500 to 5k. Normally I play stakes anywhere between like 200 and 1k, maybe 500 and 1k. All right, table 4, we're 3-betting. We get a cold call, so loads of recreationals in the pool here. And we get a min 4-bet with so much dead money. Don't think we can fold this, we're just gonna call. But yeah, we're gonna have to fold a lot of flops like this one. This seems super strong, but for this price we're not folding. He checks, gonna check back, realize some equity for free. Maybe hit a king or queen sometimes. If he checks twice, we could consider bluffing. But yeah, we just see the bet and we're gonna fold there. Obviously, pots like these ones are gonna look very bad on your results, right? Because you put in a lot of money, you're just folding flops, but you know, you get the right odds to call pre-flop. Yeah, the times when you hit, obviously you win a big pot, but most of the time you're just gonna lose. So that's just how these pots go. We have a lot of recreations on a lot of tables where we wouldn't want to fold anything, but they are yeah, we're not getting anything against them, which is unfortunate. We have pocket threes now, table 2, which we're definitely going to play. The small blind is a very active, aggressive recreational who likes to bluff, who likes to 3-bet. Undergun opens, which is new player. We're definitely going to call here on the button, hoping the small blind calls as well. And even if not with anti ranges, this is going to be a fine call. And we flop bottom set, so not bad. Board is going to be really good for us. See a half pot c-bet. It's interesting. Could have 6s, could have 4s occasionally, but I think I'm just going to raise this one up when he bets there. Yep. Just going to raise this up. We see a call. And unfortunate runner. It's not like I think he has many deuce X's, probably none. Some 6, 7 pocket 7s, but it's just we get a lot less action. Still going to continue betting small. Just like 1/3 to check back the river. In case we hit a set, sorry, we bowed up on the river, we might get some more value. But yeah, I think we have to just check back the river. Don't see him calling like aces. Maybe ace 5. We could go for like the super exploit. Block bet on the river again, but it's actually getting thin against 6s and 5s. 7x that he might have, and like, see, how are we going to bluff this river? So yeah, just going to check this back. Yes, pocket 10s made a lot of sense with the bet on the flop, but just a very, very unfortunate run out. Over on table 5 we 3-bet and we flop trips. Unfortunately, we don't get any action. And down on table 3 we defend blindly blind. We are just checking the flop and then checking the turn again. Checks all the way down. I think my hand is a bit too thin to value bet. I'm just checking, trying to get to showdown. If he bets, we can consider bluff catching. We win. Table 4, face a c-bet from a recreational. Could call, could raise. Just going to call though. Hoping to see a check back on the turn. It's like a board where if I raise, I'm really going to find enough folds. Now that he goes for the small double barrel, I'm actually going for the raise, with the plans of shutting down the river if you get called. But this small double barrel might be weak. So we might get a better draw like ace jack, ace 10 to fold here occasionally, or hopefully most of the time. And then, you know, if he's a king, I don't think he's folding, but maybe if he's a queen, he might fold. He does tank for a while though, and does eventually call. And the 5 is a really, really bad run out. Like, it's tempting to bluff here, but like, we rep so little, and his range is gonna be quite strong at this point. So I think we just have to give this one up. And table 4 we called, sorry, table 3 we called a min 3-bet. He went check check on the flop and then check on the turn again. We're multi-way, yes, it's a small bet, but button is not gonna bluff here. Small, that's the imposition player. And yeah, it's very likely that recreational is just trapping here, which it seems like he does now that he's leading. The jack 10 we just folded on the river. And you see a lead and a jam, and the other guy folded, so happy that I just got out of the way there on the turn. So again, a few unfortunate runouts. We're not really hitting our hands, and if we're hitting, we're just not improving too well, but it's part of the game. Table 5, unfortunately you have to fold after facing the court 4-bet. Table 1 against a small blind. Going for a small c-bet, could check behind there as well. But we just take it down. Gonna go for another 10 minutes or so and then call it a session. Not too many interesting spots. We had some action at the beginning, and after that just a lot of unfortunate hands where we couldn't do too much, but I think we played well, which is important. Going to 3-bet here against the button open. Maybe some action now. Against the 4-bet we're going to get this or ship this ourselves. There's a lot of recreationals though, so I really wish we would have gotten some more hands. Maybe get something going now. That's gonna take a few seconds. And then go all in with ace king for 100 bigs. Don't see a snap call, so I'm mainly expecting a fold. And we do see a fold. And table 3, we went for, we called it min 3-bet, check check flop, and then on the turn we go for a small step river. I'm gonna continue betting very, very small, trying to get value from ace king and ace queen. We just see a fold. Table 2 we call a 3-bet, we see a small c-bet. This is close, but this guy's quite aggressive, so I'm still gonna call 1. And the ace is very unfortunate because now we have to fold against the double barrel. And yeah, we just have to fold here. And he had pocket jack, so lucky turn for us, I guess. Table 6, we went for a 3-bet small c-bet. And now we just hope to win against like 9s, 8s sometimes. Or pocket 3s, so that's nice. Didn't expect to win this pot too much. Back to table 2, we isolate the recreational. And seems that we don't get any action from all the other players behind. Face a limp 3-bet, it gets a bit dicey whether we call or just jam. Depends a bit on the sizing, we just fold, so blind be blind on table 5. We just range bet on a really, really good board for us. And we see a raise, which is a good play. And versus this very, very small sizing, we can't fold ace jack yet. So I'm going to call, but not loving this on 25, and I don't think people find enough raises. We do check, and in theory should also call the turn here. But again, this is close, really happy, checks back, and now I'm going to block bet this on the river, trying to get called by a queen, maybe a 5 occasionally. And we just take it down. Table 1, we check back the flop, we call a small turn bet, and are going to now overbet and take it down. We have some showdown value, but I think bluffing is just going to work better. I think his range is going to be really, really weak, and I don't want to lose to pocket deuces when I can fold them out. Or random ace high that was bluffing. Table 4, going for a small c-bet with the pocket 5s. It's going to be hard to show this down if I check back, and by betting can barrel some turns, fold out some hands that have equity, get called by ace jack with a diamond occasionally. So I think the double barrel is going to work quite well here. Oh, sorry, I want to stay in table 5. So we're going to double barrel this. The fold, I expect a lot of folds from 10x and 9x hands here by the turn. Maybe even a king deuce just hits the muck. And against the race, we're obviously out. A lot of good tables here. You can see another recreational. Like all of these tables have a lot of recreational, so really good side, I think. But maybe also good time to play. But I think we just have to call it a stream soonish. So I have to go at 3. Maybe we can get a few more interesting hands in. Table 3, ace 10 is a bit loose to squeeze, but don't hate it. Thanks for the follow, DJ Mikey. Good to have you. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Feel free to also check out our Discord to get notified whenever we go live next. And you know what? Let's get a little bit loosey-goosey here and just squeeze the ace 10 there. It's on the loose side, but if he doesn't 4-bet enough, I don't mind it. Against cutoff button, obviously, would be a bit more standard. We get the first fold, so that's always good to get a second fold. Table 6 could be a really, really interesting hand. We had 2 and a big blinds deep. I isolated against the hijack, and then the small blind went for quite a large 3-bet, which is scary. Goes for 1/3 c-bet, which is kind of what I expect. All the money goes in. I think we have to find a hero fold, but obviously top pair, second kicker is looking quite good. You should still have king, jack, king 10 for value. Pocket queens, obviously pocket jacks. This is definitely a better turn from my range, I would say. He checks it over. I think I want to play quite polar here when I'm this deep, and so I'm going to just check back my king queen there. And we also have some action with aces on the other table, which I'm going to show in a second. And we see a big bet on river, just going to call. I would have played the same big bet myself if it checks to me. Not loving this, but nothing we can do there. We're winning against ace 10, which is great. Table 2, we see the cold 4-bet. I should be calling here. But 25 NL, cold 4-bet spot. Don't hate clicking this back either to like 40 bigs. This looks kind of nutted, but not sure if people are good enough to get away from ace king aces here. Jams it in, we call it off. And here's kings, so just a cooler. Hit the ace on the turn. First one goes to us, and it looks like we're gonna split this one up, which is a bit unfortunate, but hey, happens. Table 1 is a limp pot. We call the flop, we check raise the turn, and the run out again doesn't come great for us. Just going to check, hope we win against the jack. And we win against jack 6, which is great. Table 5, we open raise ace jack, checked around on the flop. You see a big bet from the big blind on the turn, which again we're also not loving, but we're definitely going to call. River's a brick, 6-7 missed, flush draws missed, 2-6, 3x missed. So we have a reasonable bluff catching candidate. He goes for another big bet, a little smaller than on a turn. We lose to 5-4, ace-9, some 2 pairs, but yeah, at top pairs I'm just going to call down. He shouldn't bluff the jack of diamonds much. Here's ace-5. I don't think we can get away from this hand there. Inhale my first time chat. Good to have you, man. Yeah, check out our bankroll. I'm gonna update it after the stream. Table 2, I'm going to attack here, the weak sizing. When they lead out small multi-way, could be very nutted, could be just a lot of weak draws. 8x hands. I want to get called. I think I'm just going to check back. I actually have showdown value against king jack, king 10. But against the queen, I just don't think we're getting to fold. Table 1, we went for the ISO. Going to c-bet this flop and then double barrel a lot of nice turns. Or we just take it down. So yeah, but exclamation mark bankroll, you can see the current bankroll. And then if you type exclamation mark Discord, you should get our Discord channel, so feel free to join. It's absolutely free. You can discuss poker strategy, anything really. There you get all the information about the coaching that me and Peter are offering, and obviously you get notified whenever we go live for the next stream for the bankroll challenge. Let's go back to table 5, where we see a limp from a pretty loose recreational. Been playing a lot of hands, this guy. Quite passive though, but yeah, going to ISO raise and probably also 3-betting, to be fair. He goes large, but still going to 3-bet pocket 7s. I think this guy's likely ISOing a bit too wide. Pocket 7s is fine. If you get called, if you see a fold. Probably the bottom of my 3-betting range though here. And we take it down. It seems a bit scary, but when people use these very large sizings, they might just yeah, pick too large of a sizing. It's just more dead money that we can win with 3-betting. And that's why you see if you move up in stakes, usually people don't use those very large ISO raise sizings, because they just lose too much when they get 3-bet. Alright, I'm gonna play the last orbit on all of those hands and then have a look at the results. Going to table 3-bet down here. And we get a 4-bet, we just have to fold. So table 1 is finished. Curious if we had a winning session. To be honest, I doubt it. With too many hands that we just had to raise, fold, call, and then fold. Not many hands that we actually win that I could remember. A few big pots. We have table 6 here with 300 big blinds. We lost aces against kings, so that's maybe one hand where in EV we might have won, but I'm not sure in practice if we're up. Yeah, thanks for the fart, man. Inhale my. Good to have you as well. Hope you enjoyed it. As I said, unfortunately I have to end the stream soon. We're going to play an ISO pot here against 2 limpers. Hoping to just see 2 folds against the 3-bet. We obviously have to fold ourselves. So as I said, we had a lot of pots like this one where we ISO'd, had to fold, 3-bet, had to fold against the 4-bet, called the 3-bet, had to call 1 and then fold. But a lot of recreationals, which is really, really good to see. So if you're looking for a place to grind, I think Coin Poker, I mean, I'm not affiliated or anything, but I think it's a decent place for 10NL, 25, 15L. The rake isn't too high, you get rake back. There's a lot of recreationals. You can play from pretty much any country. Here open raise larger because there was a limp out there and we got two callers. Small blind I think is a recreational. Big blind I think is a reg. And here multi-way, I'm going to check this back. My hand, I mean, do I get check raised a lot here? Actually, going for a c-bet. I have a lot of nice turns to barrel, and it's a bit annoying if I get raised, but if I get raised, I'm kind of dead anyway on a flop like this one. As I say that we obviously get raised in exactly the sizing that makes my hand somewhat indifferent. Yeah, we'll peel one against this sizing. I have just a lot of nice turns, and you know, he has some Jack 10, King Jack, King 10 himself. Some Queen X hands that we could potentially get to forward on certain runouts. But yeah, maybe just my initial read was good, just bet fold this. And people check raise multi-way, they're just generally quite strong. Alright, last hand here on table 3. Open raising the King Jack. Suited against a 3-bet, we can either 4-bet or call. Also gonna show the results once you play those last few hands. We flop trips, which is something. Obviously really good board for us. I expect mainly a lot of check folds. Yeah, no surprise. As I said, if we hit something, today wasn't the day to get any value. So we're done with this table as well. We have table 4, where we have a hand, but we can't really play it. Let's see. No hands, also not on table 5, table 6, nothing. So let me pull up a hand to note and show you guys the results.